Do you ever find yourself wondering if your child's behavior says something about you as a mama? Like if things were calmer, if the meltdowns weren't so big, maybe you'd finally feel like you were doing this right? In today's episode, I want to speak to that place in your heart and gently remind you of something that maybe you've forgotten. Mama, are you tired of meltdowns stealing the peace in your home? Welcome to Parenting Beyond Meltdowns. I'm Amanda, a Christian life coach and a mom of a strong-willed neurospicy teen. If you've tried everything from consequences, parenting books, crying out to the Father, and still feel like you're failing, you're not alone. Inside this podcast, we'll explore how faith, emotional regulation, and connection work together so that you can parent from a place of peace, even in the hardest moments. You don't have to hold it all together here. This is a safe space to lay it all down. Welcome. I see you, Mama, trying so hard to stay calm, to respond the right way, and then finding yourself reacting anyway. And afterward, carrying the weight of it, the guilt, the second guessing, the quiet question of what am I doing wrong? I want you to hear this. Your child's struggles do not define you. And these hard moments, they're not proof that you're failing. You are not a bad mom. You're a mama navigating something real, complex, and deeply human, learning how to stay anchored in the middle of moments that feel anything but calm. And I want you to know that you don't have to figure this all out alone. And that's why I created Rebuild Connection with Your Strong-Willed or Neurodivergent Child. It's a live, faith-centered workshop happening Tuesday, April 28th at 7 p.m. Central. This is a space where we slow things down together, where you can begin to understand what's really happening inside you in those moments and to start building the kind of steadiness that leads to connection. Not through pressure, not through perfection, but through presence, through grace, and through the Father who meets you right where you are. If something in you is whispering, I don't want to keep doing this alone, I want to invite you to join me. You can register at amandacalfee.com/workshop. That's AMANDACALFEE.com/WORKSHOP. I would love to see you there. There was a time when I truly believed that if my child's behavior could just change, everything else would feel easier. I thought that if the meltdown stopped, if the defiant softened, if things just felt more normal, then I could finally feel like I was doing a good job. But instead, I found myself constantly measuring how I was doing based on what was happening around me. And when things were hard, I didn't just feel overwhelmed, I felt like I was failing. Maybe you've felt that way too, like your child's struggles somehow reflect back on who you are. And over time, that weight starts to build. The pressure, the doubt, the quiet questions of, am I doing this wrong? Am I messing them up? But what I began to realize slowly over time is that my child's behavior was never meant to define me, and it's not meant to define you either. We are human. We are all good and bad moms. 50% good, 50% bad. We're not going to always get it right. Most importantly, we get to decide which percent we let define us. Our first point today is that behavior is communication, not a reflection on your worth. When you're parenting a strong-willed or neurodivergent child, meltdowns, dysregulation, and even what looks like defiant behavior are often forms of communication. But in the moment, it doesn't feel like communication, does it? It feels like resistance. It feels like defiance. It can even feel personal. Like they're pushing back against you, ignoring you, and making things harder than they really need to be. And when that happens over and over again, it's easy to start asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? Or if you're like me, I was making my son's behavior mean something about him, thinking and sometimes asking, why are you making this so difficult? But what I want you to hear is this. Your child's behavior is not a report card on your parenting, and it's not a report card on their identity as a person either. It's an expression of something happening inside them that they may not yet have the ability to regulate or communicate clearly. And when we begin to see it that way, even just a little bit, it softens how we show up in our relationship. Point 2. When your identity is tied to behavior, everything feels heavier. This is where it gets really hard Because if your sense of peace or confidence or even your identity as a mama is tied to how your child is showing up, then every hard moment carries more weight than it should. A meltdown doesn't just feel like a hard moment, it feels like failure. Defiance doesn't just feel frustrating, it feels like something's gone wrong. And over time, you start living in this quiet pressure of, if I could just get this under control, then I would feel okay. But the truth is, your peace was never meant to depend on your child's behavior, because your child is still learning and you're still growing. And both of these things can exist at the same time. Point number 3, your steadiness matters more than their behavior. What I've come to see both in my own journey and walking alongside other mamas just like you is that your child doesn't need a perfect response. They need a steady response. And that doesn't mean that you're always calm. It means that you're learning how to come back. You notice when something is rising in you, to pause and to choose how to respond from there. Because your steadiness becomes the environment that your child begins to feel safe in. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are becoming more anchored. Our challenge of the week is the next time your child has a meltdown or you feel that familiar rise inside you, instead of asking, how do I fix this? Try asking, what is this moment asking of me right now? And just notice what comes up. Notice your body, notice your thoughts, notice your emotions. You don't have to fix it. Just noticing begins to create space, and in that space, that is where the Holy Spirit can move and change starts. And if you're listening to this and realizing how heavy this has been for you, how often your child's behavior has felt like it defines your day or even how you see yourself as a mama, and something in you is just so tired of carrying that, then this is exactly why I created this workshop. Not so you can try harder, but so you can begin experiencing something different, a different way of showing up, a different way of responding, a different kind of connection. And if that's what your heart has been longing for, I want to invite you to come join me on April 28th at 7 p.m. Central. You can save your spot by going to amandacalfee.com/workshop. That's amandacalfee.com/WORKSHOP, or by using the link in the show notes. I would truly love to walk through this with you. Hey, sweet mama, I hope you loved today's episode. Can you do me a favor? If this episode spoke to your heart, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a mama in your life who needs to know they are not alone? Also, would you leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts for me? It blesses my heart to know that this show is giving you hope in hard moments. All right, I'm off to grab some protein because love and grace flows easier when you're not just running on fumes and coffee. I'll meet you back here next week for another honest and hope-filled conversation. In the meantime, mama, stay rooted in faith and anchored in love.